Hey, good people. Back again this week with another devotional entitled I Am Seen, based on Genesis chapter 16 and verse 13, which says, "So she named the Lord who spoke to her, 'You are Elroy.' For she said, 'Have I really seen God and remained alive after seeing him?'" Now, the she that this text refers to is Hagar, who has run away from Sarah and Abraham. She was Sarah's slave. Sarah had a brilliant idea not to circumvent the will of God, who had promised them a child. And she uses Hagar as a surrogate. She tells her husband Abraham to sleep with her so she will get pregnant. The child would be Abraham's and subsequently Sarah's, because Hagar would not have had rights in this power dynamic. She is a tool merely for Sarah to get what she wants. But wouldn't you know it, as soon as Hagar gets pregnant, her respect for Sarah diminishes. Now, in a society where a woman's ability to produce a child indicated her value, Sarah was technically lower on that unwritten socio-cultural ladder than Hagar, who was her slave. This causes Sarah to become jealous and angry, and she begins abusing Hagar. And meanwhile, Abraham just sits back and allows it to happen to the mother of his unborn child because she's Sarah's problem. Trifling. This causes Hagar to run on to the wilderness, an unknown place, rather than deal with this low-down, dirty situation in a comfortable and familiar surrounding. An angel of the Lord finds her and instructs her to return because she will be blessed with a child that will be the father of a great nation of people. He will be a fighter and hold his own. And that brings us to verse 13, where Hagar declares that the Lord is Elroy, which means the God who sees. Is this not incredible? God sees her in this low down, dirty mess. She probably felt seen for the first time in her life. God sees you and me too. God sees when we are in situations that challenge us. God sees us when we are troubled. God sees us when others may try to mistreat and abuse us. God sees us when our lives seem to be chaotic. God sees us even when others who should be on our side won't lift a finger to help us. God sees. God sees, but just because God sees doesn't mean that we won't still experience some things. The angel basically tells Hagar to return to the abuse she's experiencing from Sarah. Now, this doesn't condone or endorse abuse or suffering, but it is to show us that sometimes God doesn't reverse the situation. And sometimes God doesn't reverse the situation because there is something that God has planted on the inside of us that must be birthed into this world, that must be birthed into the situation and will completely override the very situation. I'm glad to know and have a God like that on my side, a God that doesn't ignore my situations like Abraham does Hagar, but a God who sees what I'm going through. And even if God doesn't sweep away the situation, God creates the conditions for me to be blessed in the midst of it and ultimately win in the end. Amen. Peace and love.